Hi there. Today I'm going to take vector norms. Vector norm simply means calculating the length or magnitude of vectors. Vector norms have some properties which include 1. If you find the norm of a vector, say S, it should be greater than 0 for all non-zero vectors, and if you are getting 0 as your answer, it means the vector is a 0 vector. 2. Multiplying a scalar alpha by a vector S, and then finding the norm of that should be equal to the absolute value of scalar alpha multiplied by the norm of the vector S. 3. Summing two vectors S and Y and then finding their norm should be less than or equal to the norm of S plus the norm of Y. Types of vector norms. We are going to look at the L1 vector norm, the Euclidean or L2 vector norm, and the infinite or L infinity vector norm. Assuming we have vector S with values S1, S2, S3 up to Sn. The formulas of these types of vector norms will be as follows. The L1 vector norm of vector S would be equal to the absolute value of S1 plus the absolute value of S2 up to the absolute value of Sn. The L2 vector norm of vector S would be equal to finding the square root of S1 square plus S2 square plus S3 square up to Sn square. And the L infinity vector norm of vector S would be equal to finding the absolute value of each of the values in vector S, which is S1, S2, S3 up to Sn, and then choosing the maximum value among them to become our answer. Let's solve an example so that you can really understand what I'm teaching you over here. Given the vector 4, negative 7, 6 transpose, find I, L1 vector norm, II, Euclidean or L2 vector norm, III, infinite or L infinity vector norm. Let S equals 4, negative 7, 6 transpose. Now that we know all the formulas for these types of vector norms in this question, let's start by finding the L1 vector norm. The formula for L1 vector norm is this. We can put in the values of S1, S2 and S3, which is 4, negative 7, 6 respectively. Now finding the absolute value of each of these values will give us 4 plus 7 plus 6, which is 17. Next, let's find the L2 vector norm. The formula is this right here, as you already know. Putting in our values will give us the square root of 4 square plus negative 7 square plus 6 square. And this will further give us the square root of 16 plus 49 plus 36. 16 plus 49 plus 36 is 101. So now we have the square root of 101, which is 10.04987562, and to 2 decimal places we have 10.05. Let's find our final vector norm, the L infinity vector norm. Here is the formula. Let's put in our values, and this will give us mass into bracket the absolute value of each of the vector values, that is 4, negative 7 and 6. Finding the absolute value of these values will give us max into bracket 4, 7 and 6. The maximum value among these values is 7. So now the infinity vector norm is equal to 7. We can also see that there is a relationship between L1 vector norm, the L2 vector norm, and the L infinity vector norm, which is the L1 vector norm is greater than or equal to the L2 vector norm, and the L2 vector norm is greater than or equal to the L infinity vector norm. Sometimes you may be given either the L1 vector norm, the L2 vector norm, or the L infinity vector norm, and you may be asked to find one of the vector values. Let's take an example. Find the value of k if L2 vector norm is equal to the square root of 124 and vector S is equal to negative 2 k negative 9 transpose. We now know the formula for L2 vector norm. Let's put our vector values into the formula straight away, and this will give us L2 vector norm equals the square root of negative 2 square plus k square plus negative 9 square. The value for L2 vector norm is the square root of 124. So now we are getting the square root of 124 equals square root of 4 plus k square plus 81. Now, since this is an equation, whatever you do to the right hand side of the equation, you should do the same thing to the left hand side of the equation. Let's go ahead and remove the square root from both sides of the equation, and this will give us 124 equals 4 plus k square plus 81. We want to make k the subject of the equation, so let's group like terms over here. And now we have k square equals 124 minus 4 minus 81. 124 minus 4 minus 81 is 39. So now we have k square equals 39. Multiply both sides of the equation by the power of 1 over 2. And this will give us k equals square root of 39, which is 6.24 to 2 decimal places. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like and share this video. Thank you very much and have a nice day.